Hey everyone, it's James George here, and today I'm going to test out the Monstroid 2 WordPress theme by Template Monster. If you remember, I did a review of Template Monster 1 a couple of years ago when it first came out, and so now I'm going to do a review of their second iteration, which is supposed to add a lot of features and streamline the entire process. So, what I've done is I have the files in a folder here. This is the download that they give, and they have a manual install, and then they have a zip file. I'm starting from scratch with a domain that just has the typical 2017 theme. I've not installed this before, so I'm doing this as a live, like, sort of unboxing of the Monstroid 2 WordPress theme. So I'm going to go to Add New, and I'm going to go to Upload Theme. Go to Browse, and I'm going to go to my folder with the file installed. And we'll just see, I'm going to do a little test run to see how this plays out. And so it's going to run through its little install. And while it's doing that, I'm going to hop back over to the files. You have documentation and license and screenshots. You have plenty of resources to be able to work with the theme. So I'm going to go ahead and activate. So there you see I have the Monstroid 2 theme installed. So I'm going to refresh and see what that looks like as default. Okay, so it is really basic. Typically, what you can do is you'll have a demo install or something to that effect. So this theme recommends the following plugin, TM Wizard. So it's, I'm just going through this as if I just bought the theme and seeing how it works. So we're going to go through here and see how this works. TM Wizard. Okay, so this wizard will help you to select the skin, install plugins, and import demo data for your Monstroid 2 theme. Okay, so you can't get much easier than this. Okay, so everything is fine except for the execution time, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay, so you have several different skins here. This is pretty awesome considering how you want to proceed, depending on what business you're running or what type of business that you're trying to build a website for. So this is pretty cool. You have loan, modern, lawyer, fitness, furniture, like e-commerce, corporate for a corporate company, fashion, construction, and the default. So I'm just going to do, let's see. I'm going to do corporate, select skin. I'm going to do a full install. Each thing comes with light and full version of demo content. The number of posts and plugins may affect your site speed. We recommend importing the light version of demo content if you're running shared inexpensive server. Full version of demo content is recommended for dedicated servers. Okay, so they recommend the light install if you're on shared hosting and full install if you have a dedicated server and premium shared hosting plan. See, I have a premium shared hosting, so I'm just going to do full install and see if I get an error. Hosting really counts, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, whether you're running a small business website or you have a well-established company. Hosting is your foundation, so I would always recommend paying a little bit more for better hosting. This, wow, this is pretty fast. This went through all this pretty quickly. We are ready to install demo data. Do you want to append demo content to your existing content or completely rewrite it? Replace my existing content. So I don't have anything. If you remember, I didn't have anything on the site. So I'm going to go ahead and say replace my existing content so that it just goes ahead and does that. Enter your password to confirm. And okay. That's just your admin password. Oh, okay, so it's telling you what it's importing. 3 comments, 43 pieces of media, 165 different posts. So I guess that's just so you can see the different types of content that you can use, and how it's formatted and how you can display it on your site. So that's pretty cool. It's working pretty fast. It's already gone through 3 of these 100%, and now it's importing posts. And then I'm sure it will import the comments last. And so this is pretty fast considering I'm doing this live. If you remember last time, this took quite a while with the first Monstroid theme. So it's obvious right from the get-go that they've made Monstroid 2 much faster to install and import demo data. I think my last time was something like 15 to 20 minutes. So it's regenerating thumbnails. So it's going through all these different things to optimize your site and make sure that your pictures look good. And this really helps because when you're creating a site based off of demo data, it's important to know the right size for pictures. So if you're looking at the back end of your website and you're like, man, I want to replace that picture, but what size is it? You can look in the back end and see. And so when you see that the pictures are crisp on the front end, it tells you, okay, well, that's the right size to import it. If they're distorted, I don't know how many times you guys have bought a theme off of another place that has to do with trees, but sometimes when you're doing demo data, nothing looks like it's supposed to, even though they claim it does. And then you have to go through support, and half the time they're not very helpful. And I'm not talking about the actual tree company. I'm talking about the theme, the theme makers that actually made the theme to begin with. So anyway, I'm going to refresh the front end, and let's see what we have. Okay. So obviously, this is typical with any sort of theme that you buy when they have demo data. They blur out the pictures, so you can't just use the pictures. You have to use your own, which is fine, but you'll get to see like what size this picture is. And this is really nice. So you have hover effects on icons, and this looks really good. This is everything I expected, and you can see the different the different pages, different styles, contact forms. I'll just click through a couple of these just so you can see. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I expected. Nice hover effects. Nice clients page. So you could have like their picture or their logo, their name, and a little write-up. It helps to get an idea of how content should be laid out. So this is really nice. I'm liking this a lot. I'm impressed with the speed. I'm actually pretty surprised at the speed, and I'm impressed with how many different styles and how many different layouts there are. And so I think that's what we just have. And so it's showing you the different layouts that you can create with the theme. And so I like this with the hover effects and like your team members and all that different stuff. So this is really awesome. I'm digging this a lot. I love how they have different skins for different businesses. So this is pretty impressive. So this is a different menu style. so you can just kind of get an idea of what this looks like. This is pretty flexible. I like this a lot. Now let's go back to the back end. You can see that they also, one thing that they did with Monstroid is that they included an appointment booking plugin inside the back end. So that's great, because that's something that a lot of people want now, is to be able to book their appointments online. Not everybody can afford a secretary that can take phone calls for them as a receptionist or something like that, especially when you're first starting out. So having the ability for people to go on your website and book your time, you can control your openings, the days that you have available, and it's a great way for people to see what time you have open, and they can book it for themselves, and then your whole work week is booked for you without a receptionist. So that's really helpful for people that have a low budget, just starting out. I'm not sure what this is. I'm just kind of exploring things as I talk, just to see what different options are available. So you have to put in a Google Maps API key. Oh, this is where you can save different layouts, page layouts, and you can export layouts. That's great. You can export different sections, different modules that you create. From what I understand, they have a page builder now for different pages. So let's explore that real quick. Just going to hop over there. Let's do the front page. Of course, I'm doing this live. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Okay, so this is a modular build, and this is pretty easy. If you've ever used the Divi WordPress theme by Elegant Themes, it's pretty similar to the back end of it, where you have your different stacks of rows, and you have columns in different sections. I assume that this controls, okay, so it does. It controls your column format and the different layouts that you can create. So this makes it really easy to build any kind of layout you want. And the gears allow you to create different settings. You can control how many columns are on tablets, phone layouts, desktop, laptop, all that stuff. You can control titles, featured image sizes. Wow, you have a lot of choices. So you can really customize the look and feel of every little aspect of a page. So this is what I wasn't crazy about how Monstroid was for building stuff to begin, in the first iteration, but it looks like in the second, in Monstroid 2, it looks like you have the ability to really customize each page and create any kind of layout you want. And that's great. So you have sliders and different settings, background images, custom margin. You can insert background videos. I'm really impressed. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of these modules and settings this time. This was just mainly like an unboxing of the theme itself, and I have to say I'm really impressed. So I may create another video in the future, in the near future, showing all the features and different settings for the Monstroid 2 WordPress theme. But you get an idea of what things are like here. And this, I'm very impressed with this, and I'm impressed with how you can customize it. So it's a great starting point for any type of WordPress site that you want to build. But then you can customize the layout, the colors, the background images, and the style altogether via the modules in the back end. So I think this is definitely a step in the right direction for Monstroid, and I think it makes Monstroid 2 a top contender among other WordPress themes. It's fast, it loads much quicker, it installs demo data in a fraction of the time that it took Monstroid 1 to install. You have so many options to customize the entire site. The whole process is streamlined. The whole backend is streamlined, and to edit pages is much more user-friendly than in the first theme. I can say that firsthand because I built a couple of sites using Monstroid 1, and so Monstroid 2 is much better, much faster, much more powerful, much more flexible. So I'm very impressed with this. If I had to give this a rating from 1 to 5 stars, I would say this is 5 stars. Definitely compared to the Monstroid 1 WordPress theme, which I would probably give about 3.5, 4 stars. I'd give this one 5 stars, definitely. From what I've seen so far, how easy it is to install, how easy it is to set up, how easy it is to import the data, and how quick it is. You can be up and running with your website in just a few hours. Going through different pages and plugging in content, customizing layouts, drag and drop your different columns and layouts and formats, and this is excellent. I'm very impressed. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any questions about Monstroid 2, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, you can see the theme for yourself in the link in the description, and be sure to check it out for yourself. Well, that's it for this week. I'm James George. I'll see you next time.